Ladies and gentlemen, today is February 10th. Right next to me, I have Brandon Delliquadri, officially signed today to competing on our upcoming event, Dragon House 28 at the March 24 in the heart of San Francisco. It's a huge stack card because it's Dragon House promotion 10 years anniversary. We put up a giant stack card. All the best local talent will be fighting on this upcoming card. Now, Brandon, good to have you on board. Let's introduce yourself to all the MMA fight fans out there. Who are you and where are you coming from and what got you into martial art?
Right now I'm a 1-0 as a pro. I just made my professional debut with Zong over here back in, I think it was August 17th, August 7th, something like that.
Yes.
I had taken a long hiatus off of MMA. I was always training though the entire time. I think I made my debut as an amateur when I was a white belt back in 2009 or 2010.
Wow, you're a veteran.
Yeah, actually a little bit, yeah. A white belt veteran. And I started karate as a kid, and so I've been a lifelong martial artist. I did Shotokan karate since I was 8 years old, and I did that until I was 18, until I found this really cool gym, and I walked in. I didn't know who anyone was, and it turns out that my first Muay Thai instructor, the guy who kicked the shit out of me that day, was none other than UFC vet Anthony Njokuani, who will be fighting actually on the Triumphant card coming up here in the Bay Area, I think this month. So started that in 2007, November of 2007, started my MMA training, and then had my first fight about a year after that. And then all in all, I went 2-2 as an amateur. I went 1-3, 1-2 at 145. I went 1-0 at 155. And so I've made my pro debut now just at 155. Figured out how to cut weight, figured out how to make my body the most optimal. And now I think I proved it in my last fight. What was it? 50-something seconds long, first round submission.
Pulled out a triangle on your back. That was a phenomenal submission right there.
Thank you, thank you.
So you're a purple belt in jiu-jitsu. Who are your jiu-jitsu under?
My jiu-jitsu is under Sina Haddad in Bedford, Texas of Ironside MMA. So if you're in Texas, if you're in the DFW, and you want to be with a legit jiu-jitsu player and an Olympic judo caliber player, hit him up. He's in Bedford, Texas, and he's where I've learned the vast majority of my grappling. I have used the rest of my time to go and sample out different schools and train with some of the best people I can possibly find. When I go on vacation, it's based on, okay, I'm on vacation, but who's there? So when we went to New York, I got to go train at Marcelo's. I got to go train at Henzo's. When I was in Hawaii, which was an awesome summer vacation, I actually spent it every day training up with Max Holloway, the current 145 UFC champ, in Hawaii at Gracie Technics, by the way. And honestly, if you guys are ever out there and you want like a vacation to blend paradise and training, I highly recommend Gracie Technics out in Honolulu.
That's awesome. Now in the Bay Area, I know you used to train a little bit in combat fitness and a couple other local gyms, and so you kind of picked out a little bit of a little puzzle on every different gym,
Yeah, absolutely. That's something I like to do. I like to train with all different types of styles. Some guys are outstanding leg locks, some guys are outstanding chain wrestling, some guys are super crazy taekwondo kickers, and some guys have just solid boxing. But it's really difficult to find that if you just stay put in one gym. So I like to cross train with everyone who's kind of the martial art way, just kind of an open door policy. Everyone's really cool, everyone's really polite. So I've been, I used to teach jiu-jitsu over at, in Concord with Ronnie Susui.
Combat fitness. Right?
Yeah, and they brought me in with open arms. They kicked crap out of me in MMA, and then they were like, oh, but he's actually good at something. And so they let me pass that on. And now I'm currently training over at CSA in Dublin. They're an outstanding school with some outstanding kickboxers and strikers, and not to mention wrestlers, and just the whole conditioning program and everything. So they are great as well. And then we also have to give a huge shout out to my boy Brandon Umapeg out of T4L out of Suisun City. He's got another guy on this card, Cesar Chubby Gonzalez.
Yeah,
he's gonna kill me. Chubby Gonzalez, and it's all good people. All good people I've been training with and getting better.
Well, on the last fight, you only have 55 seconds of time in the cage. and a lot of fight fans, they always dying to watching you fight. Hopefully can see more different tools have you to coming out. Now, on the upcoming fight, you're fighting a guy from Dragon House, Brandon Delliquadri. What's your thought on this guy?
This is a tough guy. This is actually hands down my toughest opponent that I've ever had. He's currently 4-2 or 4-3?
4-2.
4-2, but he's sharp. He can switch orthodox to southpaw. He's got good wrestling. The most important part, I think, of being an incredible fighter, he's violent. You see up his, you look at his videos. He's got guys turtled against the cage. He's throwing knees. He's throwing elbows. And he's out there to do damage. So I'm taking him very, very, very seriously. And I hate to break it to him, but I'm fucking violent too. Like it's gonna go down.
This is gonna be another firework. So now, what's your game plan coming into this fight against guys like him? You know, he's a little bit more like a striker. I know you're more like a grappler. So, what your game plan is gonna be? Take him to the ground, or what's your kind of game plan?
I'm a grappler because I think it's safer. I like to get around someone's explosive power. I like to set them down. Let it be them on top or me on top, whatever it might be. I want to get around those explosive, strong legs. I want to take as little damage as possible. I don't think he's going to give up an easy takedown, and neither am I. But if he thinks he's going to walk through me and kickbox me to death, he's got another thing coming, because I'm a kickboxer too. I do Muay Thai, I do karate, I do boxing. One of my first boxing coaches was an Olympic boxing coach for the Romanian Olympic team back in the 90s. So, I mean, I can literally go anywhere, but it's about having the safest game plan to ensure a victory and not hurt my mug.
That's awesome. Well, this is going to be an interesting matchup. To Brendan, it's going to be fighting.
There can only be one.
There can only be one coming out there with the victory. So now, if people want to get a hold of you to get tickets watching you fight, how can people contact you on the social media?
Of course, all my family and friends know, and this will be released on Facebook right off the bat, but of course I have an Instagram, it will be linked in there as well. But it's just me. I'm the one selling the tickets. Of course, we always have night of the fight. Let's say you weren't able to link up with me, you weren't able to come through, whatever. You can always join. Just show up to the venue, which is here in downtown San Francisco, and just buy will call at the door. But we also do a pay-per-view, and we stream all the fights. So this is for all my friends and family that are out in Texas still. If you want to support, you can just pick it up on pay-per-view and stream it live. Yes. And the support's always appreciated.
The live stream pay-per-view, it's extremely high quality on a 720 high definition. Yeah. So we broadcast nationwide. So anyone don't miss out the event, check out the DragonHouseMMA.com, order your pay-per-view voucher, and please subscribe our YouTube channel, and also give us a thumbs up on the Dragon House MMA fan page on Facebook as well. So now, if Brandon watching this interview, what do you have to say to him?
You know, he's not a guy of a lot of words. He shows up in fights. He doesn't puss out. He doesn't say I have an injury. He doesn't miss weight. He's just going to show up, make weight, and perform. And it's like a mirror, because I'm going to do the exact same thing. No words, just shake hands, and actions will speak for themselves.
That's awesome. Now, any special people you want to shout out to, sponsor, anybody you want to say anything to?
Honestly, the number one sponsors in my life are my family. Just all my family and friends that have ever supported me along my journey since I was 8 years old. It was my mom driving me to karate lessons, and then it was just all family and friends support, and everyone has made. I've never done this alone, so this is a reflection of all the work that they put in, and I've put in work as well.
Awesome. We'll look forward to put up another epic event for all the fight fans out there in the Bay. Dragon House 28, March 24, 6 weeks out. It's going down. It's going to be 20 plus fights on this upcoming fight card. Huge stack card. Check out the layout.
And you guys were named 2017's NorCal's Promotion of the Year, isn't that right?
Absolutely.
So this is cool for me because it's a big exposure for me to be on one of the best showcases, best regional scenes in all of Northern California. So
Absolutely.
Thank you for that.
So like, some of the people, they might not understand, like, what's the difference of the shows with like a sanctioned shows versus some of the shows that are not sanctioned. Sanctioned shows a lot more restriction. So some of the fight fans who doesn't know, like every bout 2 fighters agreed to fight, so I have to get those names, submit to the State California Athletic Commission. They have to do research, make sure this is an even fight, and then they approve on each bout. When you're fighting an unsanctioned show, or sometimes
it's just chaos.
It could
be anyone. No one makes away. You have guys who are drinking out the night before.
Right.
Everyone who comes to these shows comes to fight, and you're seeing high-level martial arts being performed by clean athletes who are given their very all. And there's no quick taps. There's no, oh, he poked me in the eye, I quit, or jitters in the stage and not coming out. Everyone's a warrior and comes out to fight.
So some of the sanctioned shows, and most importantly, we have to purchase like the highest insurance, to protect all the fighters after the fight. Unsanctioned show, in another hand, they usually force fighters to sign a waiver before the fight. So a lot of times when you get injured during the fight, you're pretty much on your own. That's a big difference. On top of that, on a sanctioned show, on our show, most athletes come in, pretty much they have to do all P tests, they have to do drug tests, all the other tests. An unsanctioned show, people can have enhancement drugs or any other stuff, and they take. There's no restriction whatsoever. There's no test on any kind. And some of the unsanctioned shows, they don't even have to have blood work done or physical or CAT scan done. So in the sanctioned shows, a lot more restriction, and that's one reason.
Professional, definitely professional.
One of the reasons why I tell people trying to support the local fighters, because they really don't fight for much until they get to the top of the food chain before they can see some big dollars. They pretty much spend a lot of their own money and their own time, invest back on the training, and pay for the medicals to even come off the fight. Sometimes they even losing money in the fight.
Absolutely.
So I'm hoping all the fight fans out there, by having you guys reach out to the fighter, buy a ticket from them, it's a good amount of support, so they can get a little bit of credit for it. Give them some motivation, incentive to have their friends watching them fight. So it's kind of important to know that. So, but anyway, March 24th.
Supporting the arts in San Francisco.
Yes, March 24th. Dragon House MMA will be presenting another huge stack card for you guys. We'll see you guys over there. Good to have you on board, Brandon.
Thank you so much, Tom.
Right?
I really appreciate it.
Have a good weekend, everybody.